The first step to quit porn. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. Let me tell you what it is. Okay, you have to move yourself from denial to acceptance that you have an actual problem. You have a habit that you no longer want in your life. And you need to know that it is literally destroying your brain. So if you don't have motivation in and of itself because you don't see anything wrong with the habit, I'm here to tell you that if you go to the truth about porn or fight the new drug, you will see all of the research that shows that there's shrinkage in the brain from consistent consumption of pornography, and there's less activation in the brain when you have a porn habit. So what that means is if you keep watching it, your brain will deteriorate across the rest of your lifetime. You do not want that. That should be motivation in and of itself. So here's the first thing that you need to do is you need to break your habit down. So I want you to look at these factors. Number one, how much time do you spend watching pornography? Literally think about it, get your calendar out, look at all the time you spent across the last week or 2 weeks or month. Add it up. It may add up to a shocking amount of time that you could be applying to other areas of your life. And we will talk about that later. Number two, I want you to figure out how often or frequent you find yourself needing to come back to pornography. So time spent on it is different than having a continual urge to go back and have to have more of it. So if you find that it's interrupting your workday because you can only get through an hour of work before you need to get another hit, it's literally a hit of dopamine to your brain. So if you need to get another hit every hour, frequency is different than quantity. Look at both of those things. I want you to look at how long you can go without it. What's the longest that you can go without having any feelings of withdrawal? So what happens when you don't go or you don't use it? When you go for whatever amount of time, the longest amount of time you think you can go, and then what happens to you? What feelings do you have? What thought processes do you have? Break that down, because if you're doing it a lot, you're doing it frequently, you find that you can't go that long without it. And if you do, you start to have headaches or you feel anxious, you feel angry, frustrated, your mood goes up and down. Those are all a sign that you have a problem. One last one is you want to look at, has the type of pornography that you watch escalated over time? That's another major sign that if it used to be lower levels with less intensity, and now the intensity levels are raising and you find yourself clicking through to different types that you may not have watched before, that means your brain needs a larger amount of intensity also. These are all signs that this is a problem and you need to back this thing out before it takes hold of you, because likely that hijacker's already taken control of your brain. Okay, so then you also need to realize it's not because of your high libido. So many men think that they need to watch pornography because they're the special one with a high libido. That is not true. We know that people who are attracted to pornography usually have a brain pattern that has lower activation, so it needs stimulation, and it's also a brain pattern that's anxious, so it needs calming. So it has nothing to do with libido, it has everything to do with your brain. And many times that's rooted in childhood trauma that found pornography or sexual behaviors as a soothing technique. So think about that. Your libido is going to be better once you quit this habit. Now, in step one, stage one, this is basically stage one. When you come to the realization that, oh my gosh, this literally is something that I need help with, get help. Do it in that moment, because the way that this thing cycles, your brain will only be able to reach out for help during this part of the cycle. Down here at all the rest of the cycle, your brain will not allow you to get help. The hijacker will be driving the car. There's few pivot points that your brain will allow you to get help. So if you're feeling like you want it, reach out to me, reach out to somebody who you feel like you might want to work with, because it is your time to conquer this thing for good. Okay, hope that helps you out. And remember, control your brain or it'll control you.